It says it's already recording, but officially clicking the button. Maybe it stopped recording. Nope, I think you're good. Sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Journey Builder Deep Dive number 5 session, where today we'll be focusing on content building. So I'm Michelle Medina. I'm a senior consultant at Cervelo. I've been involved with lots of Salesforce projects and specializing within all things Marketing Cloud. Participated in quite a few of these boot camps and hands-on sessions. So let's get started. Before we dive into the content building, just wanted to go over the upcoming bootcamp schedule. So today we'll be going over content building within Journey Builder. Then we next week on the 24th of September, we'll be reviewing data binding and contact model. And then the 26th would be going over the topics of advanced coding and custom activities in Journey Builder. And then October 1st, we'll look into how to integrate TikTok ads within your journeys. And then October 3rd, we will dive into building the AI-driven journeys as well. The upcoming hands-on sessions coincide with the same. So the deep dives are Tuesdays and Thursdays. The builds are usually on Wednesdays. So we can have a volunteer guest builder each week. Definitely reach out to Tim Sider on LinkedIn or via chat if you do want to participate for the upcoming builds. And you build right into the Salesforce platform. With the instructor will guide you click by click really on building these activities. So the September 25th will be building the Wait Until event within Journey Builder, and then the October 2nd will be going through custom apps in Journey Builder. The 9th of October will be building a LLM model that's feeding into Marketing Cloud, and then the October 16th will be building content within Journey Builder. All right, and for those who may not be aware, just wanted to show you where you can find all of these sessions. So if you go into the Trailblazer community group for the Salesforce marketing group in Phoenix, you'll see all the upcoming events. So they're detailed by deep dive and also by the hands-on session, and you can sign up and RSVP via the details right here. All right, so let's get started with content building. Let me just... Okay, so today we'll be, as mentioned, we'll be reviewing essentially content, right? So all the content builds assets that you can integrate within your journeys. So we'll be walking, overviewing of emails, cloud pages, SMS, and push notifications. We'll be reviewing some content personalization strategies and also just talking and going over the topic of data-driven content. So we'll also be talking about what these use cases are examples of use cases that typically, could be used with these content or different assets. So before we get started into each of those assets, really wanted to call out, so, why is content important, especially within your journeys, right? So first call out here is really you have a personalized experience. So you can tailor your content to each customer so they receive relevant information in a timely message. And this personalization really does increase engagement and conversion within your journeys. You also have multi-channel engagement, right? So you can deliver consistent messaging across all different channels, right? So email, web, SMS, mobile apps to, wherever your customers are, you'll be able to have that engagement within those channels. And then the data-driven personalization. So you can use that customer data, right, within Marketing Cloud or different integrations to have these personalized dynamic content that really does enhance that customer experience as they're going through that journey. And automation, right? So you can automate, the delivery of each app, the content, the emails at the right moment when you configure that journey. You can optimize the timing, and also does reduce that manual effort while you're using Journey Builder. And then another point here is brand consistency, right? So content, we want to make sure our content has consistent brand messaging, the tone across all customer touch points across any, every channel. And you could facilitate this by using reusable templates or content blocks within Marketing Cloud. So you don't always have to build that from scratch. And then clearly, right, you'll have an improved customer journey. So with the high quality content, you're delivering the relevant message, and it should improve, the effectiveness of your customer journey, and then also drive that action and engagement within that journey. All right, so first really main asset or content that we'll be looking at is email building, specifically with Journey Builder. So the key features of Email Studio really, and building an email and Marketing Cloud, right, is those content blocks. So you have that and you can easily drag and drop those elements to build your email. And then the second point here is personalization, right? So you can leverage AmScript, and you can also use the dynamic content block, to personalize subject lines, greetings, content within your emails. So like product recommendations, you have that simple AmScript or simple personalization, but you can also have pretty complex personalization, and AmScript is really powerful to do so. So you could really just dynamically populate your email based on customers, past behavior, interests within your emails. And then also A/B testing. I think it's really important, to optimize, keep testing, right? So optimize your subject lines, any CTAs or email design or specific email content to improve engagement and improve your performance with the performance of the email. So question might be is, how do we incorporate this into journeys? So, right, you can have trigger-based emails, right? So you can use triggers, like a purchase completion, a cart abandonment, a form submission to send these personalized emails to that customer within your journey. And you can also use decision splits. So within a journey, you can send different emails or send them down different path with different content based on that customer's behavior or certain attributes. So for example, your engagement with previous emails, even within the journey, right? So if they click this email or open this email, we want to send them down one path to receive specific content on that, or even purchase history, right? So that customer behavior, you can use those decision splits to send your customers down that path, that specified path. Some typical use cases. So the first one here we called out is write a welcome series. So you can, automatically trigger your customers into that journey and send this personalized welcome email, once, they've subscribed for, one of your subscriptions, or they signed up for an account, or they signed up, really any user sign up. So having that welcome series, think is a really good use case for emails, specifically within Journey Builder. You can also have an abandoned cart journey, which Tim actually went over earlier this week to go through really, so you can send that reminder when a customer abandoned their cart and they're looking at those specific products. You can send a reminder email with that personalization for those product recommendations based on, what was in their cart. And then you can also have these re-engagement campaigns. So you can target, inactive users or unengaged users in the past 3 months with special offers or updates on your brand or products to bring them back and funnel them back into the journey and get them engaging again with your brand. Then any post-purchase follow-up is also a good use case for emails within Journey Builder, right? So you can deliver a confirmation email or a personalized thank you email after they made a purchase, or even include other product recommendations similar to, what they've purchased. So there's many different use cases for email, and I do think it's one of those major assets, right, that you are using within your journeys. So it's important to understand the capabilities that you can use or leverage within your emails to make that customer journey a more personalized, relevant path or journey for them. So our second other content or asset that you really can include within your journey is Cloud Pages. So a Cloud Page, right? So one of their key features is, again, you can have dynamic content within your Cloud Page. You can leverage AmScript to personalize the content that's displayed, again, based on, certain preferences or different behavior or past interactions that they've had with your brand, with your website, with any emails in the past as well. And then Cloud Pages also has, right, the smart capture forms. This is really, you can gather that data directly from those customers during your journey. So you can actually, within your journey, have an email with a CTA that redirects them to this Cloud Page to get some of that information, right? So maybe a newsletter or an event registration, which we'll talk over mention those use cases in a bit, but again, you can use those smart capture forms to gather that data and then feed it right back into your data model and within data extensions in Marketing Cloud. And then again, decision split. So you can have decision splits in your journey to direct customers to those specific Cloud Pages, again, based on behavior. If they clicked an email but didn't complete a form, you can direct them back to remind them to complete that form. And then how would we incorporate Cloud Pages really into journeys? So really a post-email engagement. So if you can include Cloud Pages, as a follow-up action. So customers who, again, click on an email, have that engagement or direct them to Cloud Page for any follow-up action. You're capturing data with the smart capture forms. So you can capture all this data that are fed into data extension and then can be used for any future personalization or other communications as well. And then lead nurturing. So, after a form submission or a survey completion, right, you can automatically push these customers into follow-up journeys or, different path within that same journey for more targeted messaging based on the information they've entered. And then some typical use cases for Cloud Pages, right, is, one of the major use cases, right, is having a landing page. So you can use Cloud Pages for, personalized landing pages, and then could be tied directly into an email, as mentioned earlier, or SMS campaigns. And then another major use case is having these custom preference centers. So you can allow, have that custom preference center within your Cloud Page and allow those users to manage all of their communication preferences through that Cloud Page form. And then an event registration page, right? So you can create a Cloud Page really to have users register for an event or webinars or any really of the events of that nature. You can use that Cloud Page, like I mentioned, send an email invitation, and have a CTA where they get redirected to register for that event or that webinar. And then also surveys, right? So you can use Cloud Pages to collect feedback or any data from customers after an event or after they made a purchase to better understand the customer's thoughts, feedback on that product, and how their experience was purchasing that or at the event. All right. Another major, feature where you can have where your content is important within Journey Builder is SMS and push notifications, right? So the key features of SMS and push notifications, right, is that mobile studio integration. So you can build that personalized SMS content using already that customer data and have it integrated seamlessly within your journeys, right? There's those SMS and push notification activities within the journey. You also have the personalization. So you can tailor those messages, again, based on their app behavior or their location, or remind them to open their app. They might not have been as engaged in the past month or so. Remind them to have a special offer, get those push notifications, and have that personalized with decision splits and using that real-time data. So how do we incorporate SMS and push notifications into journeys, right? So triggers, if you really think, thinking about where can we use SMS and push notifications, you can use that based on time-based triggers, to send an SMS or a push notification, but also customer behavior, right? So like I mentioned, they haven't engaged in your app, in a month. Get those unengaged, hey, here's a special offer. And you can include that within your journey. Also the cross-channel engagement, right? So you can combine email, you can combine SMS and push notifications to really make sure that your customer is receiving the right message at the right time, having that relevant communication and that multi-channel engagement that is super important. So you really are communicating your customers in the most efficient way and through their preferred channels. And then also any event-based notifications. So you can trigger journey steps with that real-time data, after they complete a purchase, or again, as they open the app, you can give them that push notification. Again, a special offer or a new feature promotion. So some of those typical use cases for SMS and push notifications could be a transactional messages. So any, shipment tracking details, any appointment reminders, right? Or purchase confirmations, you can send an SMS or a push notification using Journey Builder. And then also account notifications is a really good use case for SMS and push notifications within Journey Builder, right? So you can just trigger those notifications based on any account activity. So security updates, login attempts, if your balance has changed, and also in-app reminders, right? So you can send those push messages to remind users of, right, incomplete tasks like an abandoned cart or the unfinished app onboarding. So, right, they might not have entered all of their information. You want to remind them to, complete the entire account onboarding process. And then also you can use push notifications as well for app-based actions. So you can trigger that push notification when they reach a certain milestone in your mobile app. So a good example of that is a loyalty program rewards, right? So once they meet that certain milestone, you can give them a congratulations or again, a special offer for being such a loyal customer. Right, so now we can talk about really some of that personalization strategies within your content. So really the key point for that content personalization is that real-time personalization. So you can, again, trigger that content. The content can change based on real-time actions. So again, if they're viewing a product or that abandoned cart, right, you can have that dynamic content dynamically populate based off that customer's individual actions or past behavior. And then decision splits. Decision splits are key in a journey, right? So you can have these pathways to serve, again, that personalized content based on their attributes. It doesn't always have to be actions, but again, decision splits are key into having that personalized, efficient, optimized communication for that customer. So how does the personalization really incorporate into journeys, right? So we've mentioned this, but AmScript. AmScript is a powerful, powerful tool. That, again, it could be simple personalization like a first name or some sort of greeting, or you can be extremely more complex and have dynamic product recommendations for that email. Then you can also use dynamic content blocks, and that is maybe a more no code friendly, where you can have, and we'll walk through this in the demo, but where you can dynamically populate content within your email based off of certain rules that you set on data extension and those attributes. And then also data extensions are crucial for the personalization incorporation into journeys, right? So this is where you're storing all of your customer data, and you can use that data within those data extensions to dynamically populate, all channels, email, SMS, cloud page. Again, it could be based on attributes, could be based on previous actions or their preferences, but the data extensions are key, where that really holds all of our data that we can use for personalization. So use cases for personalization within Journey Builder, right? So any birthday or anniversary campaigns, you can use those data extensions to send a personalized birthday email or anniversary rewards, a special promotion for their account anniversary and so forth. Then also product recommendations. So you can show those product recommendations based on, you know, their past browsing behavior or past purchase history within emails or even on cloud pages. And then that behavioral targeting. So using, you know, customer behavior like recent email interactions, you know, past purchases, web browsing, right? You can send those targeted offers and recommendations based on that customer's specific behavior. And then if we're thinking about, right, so you're building all these assets, you really want to optimize and track how this, you know, the content is performing. So really some key features within optimizing and tracking this content and how they've performed over time is, you know, you could use AI powered personalization, right? So you can use Einstein recommendations to automatically optimize and personalize content, you know, based on that predictive analytics of past behavior and past engagement within the or within emails or other channels as well. Then you can also just have an iterative improvement method, right? A process. So you're just regularly updating content and, you know, the structure of the journey based on performance data, really to increase that overall engagement. Monitoring how a journey's been performing in terms of open rates, click rates, engagement within journeys, engagement within your cloud pages. Are they completely filling the process or the form in a cloud page, or where do they really cut off from the process? How can we update that content to make those customers, you know, complete our goals or complete those requirements to, again, enhance that overall engagement? All right, so how do we incorporate really, you know, the optimization and tracking within Journey? So there's within Journey Builders, right, you have Journey Analytics. So you can monitor that engagement metrics like open rates or click rates or cloud page form submissions, and then optimize based off of those metrics into future journey steps. And you also have performance reports, right? So you can use the reporting features within Marketing Cloud to analyze email engagement, SMS messages, again, cloud pages, and see what's driving the most engagement, and then you can adjust your content accordingly. If customers are engaging more with emails than SMS, right? So you can see that their preference is emails. So you can enhance or adjust your journey to ensure that those customers are getting communicated from their most preferred channel. So what are use cases for optimization, right? So re-engagement, right? So you can identify those unengaged customers through reporting, through analytics, and trigger that re-engagement journey with the new optimized content, right? So you've understood what content is driving engagement, and then we can have this re-engagement journey to trigger those unengaged customers right back into the journey with that optimized content. And then A/B testing, right? So you can run A/B test on subject lines, CTAs, design of emails, cloud pages, messages within your SMS messages, within your emails, the delivery of, you know, really your content, and see again what's has a bit overall a higher engagement, and then optimize on that. And then any personalized offers, right? So you can again track that customer behavior to see or to really determine the best time to send that personalized offer. So that's driving that conversion, right? So if customers are usually more active later in the day, you can optimize your journey to make sure they're getting that communication when they're, you know, more engaged within really their emails, their phones, really or more engaged within your brand, right? So again, just tracking their behavior, you can determine when is the right time to contact them. All right, so we've gone through really, you know, right, all the content, what are those personalization strategies, and then also can we optimize and tracking content. So let's dive into Marketing Cloud and just really see how we can incorporate some of this content within a journey. Let me just finish here and go into Marketing Cloud. So first wanted to show you, right, so this use case is a simple use case, but what we're really going to go into is using all those different contents to with personalization to in a journey to have folks or your customers sign up for a newsletter. So we have our data within a data extension. So let me just open the data extension field and then we can walk through the fields that we'll be using today. And again, this is a simple use case, but it gives you a good understanding of how to use all these different contents or these different assets within the journey to have that personalized communication. All right, so let me just open. All right, so we have this journey, this data extension, excuse me, and we really just capture it. All of the information we really have is their email, their first name, their last name. We have that contact ID, which is really the subscriber key. And in this use case is that Salesforce contact ID. And then you see the topic interest field. So, right, we can say that, within our CRM Salesforce, we've been capturing customers' interest in ESG topics. So they've had these preferences and they can choose, what really within, ESG atmosphere or environment, what really interests them. So we have two customers here, right? So Michelle's interest is really that environmental piece of the ESG, where Sarah's is more of the governance. So with using this, we actually are pulling, which I'll show you also as well, we're pulling all customers who have an interest in these ESG topics with a SQL query from Salesforce, from the synchronized objects, and pulling them into this data extension that will then trigger them into a journey to sign up, to remind them to sign up for our ESG specific newsletter. So within the email, if I can show you that next, we want to personalize that email. We want to make sure Michelle and Sarah are getting that personalized message that really is relevant to their interests and relevant to them, which hopefully will increase that engagement with, and have them sign up for the journey. So if we open this email here, and again, we'll just do this edit content, right? So you can see here that we have a small code snippet, AMP script, where we really want to just really pull in. This is a simple personalization, but again, that personalization does really increase that overall engagement within an email, where we really want to just pull in their first name. So you can see here, we're pulling in their first name from that data extension, right? That data extension is holding all of our customer data that we'll use within our emails, within the journey to personalize their message, their journey through their customer journey through the journey. And then, so if we're just looking at here, we're really just saying, if let's say, for some reason, we might not have their first name within that data extension, we're just giving them a default name, just in case, right, having that information, we might not have that first name. So we're just making sure they get some sort of personalized or greeting within the email. Then we also have down here, you'll see this dynamic content block. So again, maybe, you might not be as comfortable with AMP script, and you want to use this dynamic content block to really, what it will do is dynamically populate the content based off of the attributes and the rules that you set within the configuration settings, right? So you can see here, this first section here is that default content. So that default content, right? You always have to choose a default content. And something to note is that you do have to have these content blocks pre-built before you can dynamic or configure this dynamic content block. So you always have to have a default content. And for this default content, we're really just keeping it, general towards ESG, a broad messaging, what our newsletter can, topics that they can, access, include, what it will include within, if they sign up for our newsletter, right? So then If you look here on the left-hand side, this is the first rule. So you'll see here, we have as you can see, it's a content block. And actually, let me show you this content block. So you'll see we have two text blocks really. And for those that are specifically interested within the environmental interest or topic, you'll see that those bullet points are a bit different than that broad overview of what our ESG newsletter will bring to them or will offer them. So you'll see we have more of a tailored messaging, focus on more of those environmental topics. So again, that Michelle, who's more interested in environmental than other, governance, for example, will get more of that tailored message based off of their interest. Then if we look at what we have for the governance content block, again, that's going to be tailored more towards governance topics. So again, so Sarah, who's more interested in that governance topic, will have this messaging that's more, again, tailored towards her interests, rather than that any generic or something she might not be as interested in. Right, so we have those two content blocks created. And again, those are just text blocks. So that if we go back to the email, you'll see here at the top left-hand side, you'll see that you'll have to choose your content block here. So I can just click replace, but really you'll get that content builder here and you can choose that content block that you want to display based off of the rule that you're going to create. So we have that created. So I'm just going to X out of here. You've already chosen it. Then you'll see here your library. So you will have to, and your source is right here. So this is the data extension that you're using as your source to create the rule. So all the fields that are in that data extension is what you will have available to set the criteria, the rule criteria. So you see, we have a simple one here of just those fields, and what we're really looking for is, what we're really interested for this criteria is that topic interest. So what we did is just drag in topic interest, and then since we want this to display for only environmental interests, we configured that here. So we'll click save here, and then you'll see rule number 2. You also have the ability to edit these rule names. So if you click here, we'll click into edit, and again, you'll see the same screen pop up, right? So you have to choose your content block here. And for this one, since this is for governance specific, we used the governance content block that was already created, and then we pulled in the same field, the topic interest field, and had that equal to governance. So we can click save. So now we have this dynamic content block already configured. Again, you could even create more rules if necessary for this purpose use case. We're really only creating these 2. And then it'll always have that default content displaying at first. And then we also have our sign up now CTA, right? So we spoke about how we can drive customers through a CTA, redirect them to a cloud page, right? So we can, that's what this CTA is really doing. So you'll see here, we are directing it to a cloud page. Well, actually, I will show you next, where it's our newsletter sign up page. So you can build this custom landing page to have your customers or your prospects sign up for this newsletter in this use case. So let me just open that. Let me see where it is. Open it. All right, so this is a cloud page that we've built, custom cloud page, right? So you'll see here, right? We want them to join our email list, that newsletter, and we're really capturing, again, their first name, their last name, their address, their email address, and their phone. And this is actually a smart capture form that you'd see while you're building the cloud page. And then again, that's based off of a data extension. So you're capturing all that data within the smart capture form, within the data extension, and that's getting entered and stored within Marketing Cloud, again, that you could use if needed for other personalization. within another journey, within reminder emails. So you'll see here, right? So we've used the email for personalization. We've used AMScript to have a personalized greeting. We've used that CTA button within that email to redirect them to a cloud page to sign up for that newsletter. We've also used the dynamic content block to show a more tailored message based off of that customer's interest. So if we go back to the email, and we just want to test this, right? So we can do this preview and test. And actually let's preview and test within Journey Builder to see what that would look like within there. And then before we do that, I did want to show you the automation, right? So how are we getting this data into our data extension? How are we who are we communicating to? So if we go to Automation Studio. Here we go. So we have a query, right? So we open this to really get a simple query, right? So we're pulling in, as I mentioned earlier, we're pulling in this information from our CRM. So we're pulling in the first name, right, for our last name, our email, the contact ID, which again is that Salesforce ID, and this ESG topic interest field. And it's labeled as topic interest in our data extension. That's all coming from the contact object within Salesforce. And we just want to pull in customers or prospects really who have a ESG topic interest. So some people we might not have that information on, but we really are focusing on this ESG topic. So we really want to make sure that they have something filled out. So that's where we have this where clause here. So with this SQL, with this query, it'll populate the data extension, and then it'll trigger those customers in that data extension to enter the journey with this step 2 here, the journey entry audience. So if we go to the journey now. Right, so you can see here that we have that data extension, right? You'll see our record count, the query pulled in those 2 contacts, and then we have our schedule, right? So this is based off of the automation. You'll see, right, this is paused, right? Because the automation was paused. So once you activate the automation, this will run on the automation scheduled cadence. So if you click done, all right, so then we're gonna look at the email. Let's actually go to this draft so we can click into it. And you'll see that's the email that we looked at, right? That we built with that personalization. So if we just do preview and test here. We'll select that data extension that we know we're going to send to. You'll see our first name, Michelle, our topic interest is environmental. So here you go, you'll see, right, this is tailored to Michelle, and then you'll see the environmental messaging, right? So you'll, instead of having that generic messaging that was first populated, you'll see that specific environmental messaging come up. And again, you could even, the dynamic content block, this could be totally done with AMScript as well. But just wanted to show you more of a no-code friendly way, and also showing that AMScript, I think they're both powerful tools that could be used to personalize your emails. And then if we look at Sarah, right? So we know Sarah has governance interests. So you can see we've personalized her first name as Sarah. And then again, that messaging is tailored more towards governance topics. And it doesn't have that default or that environmental. So again, super easy way to personalize your content within you can test here within Journey Builder, build those emails in Email Studio. So again, drive a more tailored, enhanced journey and increase that overall engagement for your customers. And then again, the sign up now CTA will bring you again towards that cloud page. You're able to sign up to join the newsletter. So we go back to Journey Builder. You can save and exit. And then again, you'll see your message configurations here. So right, your send classification, your subject, your delivery options, and any advanced options here as well. We'll keep this as is. And so we only want this journey or these customers to enter the journey once. So we have this set as no re-entry, and then we're using the email attribute from our data extension as the email attribute from the entry source, right? And then we click done. So then you could actually, this is activated. The version 1 is running. So we can run saving. And then we'll actually just go into automation, and we can activate the automation, and it'll trigger those customers to enter the journey. So this activity here is actually populated automatically. There's no actual journey entry audience activity on your left-hand side. So how this works is your data extension entry source on your journey has to be related to an automation or dependent on the automation. Within that, you can, once you set up the scheduling to do an automation, to have it be on an automation, you'll then activate that journey. So you'll see the journey was activated, but this wasn't. When you go back to the automation that's related to the data extension, this activity will automatically populate within your automation. So we'll just save it, and then we'll activate this. Then we should see those. Let's edit the scheduling. Do it today at 8:05. We'll have this repeat, we want folks to come in every 30 minutes. And you can have this on date. Yeah, we'll just have it end tomorrow, but done. Click save. Then we can activate this journey. So if we go back to the journey, you'll now see that the scheduling doesn't say pause anymore. It'll give you that cadence from the automation, right? So you could see the repeat cadence every 30 minutes. It'll end tomorrow. Here's the automation name, and then the activity name, which is the query. And then you'll see that your automation is running. So this should trigger these 2 customers into the journey within a minute. But while we wait for that, I just did want to end with, before we dive into questions, just some tips for content building within journeys. So if we jump back to the deck here, right? So journey tips within content building, and I think these messages have been relayed, over the last hour here, but right, so you want to really personalize your data. Again, you can leverage that customer data that you have and use AMScript, use dynamic contents to deliver that personalized message to each individual. And you want to optimize for multi-channel. So right, you want to make sure the content is consistent and it's tailored to that customer across all channels. You want to have that consistent brand messaging through email, SMS, web, but also have this mobile optimization in mind, as we are, technology, everyone's mobile. So when you're rendering Cloud Pages emails, any push notifications, messages, make sure that it is mobile optimized as well. And then also use these reusable content blocks, right? So you can save these content blocks, so you don't always have to start from scratch. You can also save templates, right? So you can have an email template already configured where you'll really just have to plug and play new messaging, new images, maybe tweak the personalization a little bit, but it's already there for you to have, reduce your manual effort, have faster creation on emails, on Cloud Pages. And then also test and refine. So as mentioned, you can regularly A/B test. Again, greetings, messages, the engagement within each message to optimize the content and increase your performance within that content. And then the last tip here is automation. So you can use triggers, decision splits, to automate that personalized content and then also that customer path within your journeys. And Journey Builder gives you that ability to, automate entries, automate time based on triggers. So definitely leverage that as you're building your journeys. So let's go check on that journey. And also, if there aren't any questions, I'm also happy to answer those. All right, so you can see those two customers entered our journey, and I should have this email. So let me see if I have it, and I can show you what that looks like. So I was Michelle in this, and let's see the email here. I think I need to share a different screen. All right, so you can see here, right? You see, hi, Michelle. My first name personalization, and I was interested in environmental, right? So you can see that environmental messaging being delivered personally to me, and Sarah would have received the governance topic. And then also through the CTA, we sign up now. I would have to show you another screen, but I was directed to the cloud page. All right. Are there any questions? Happy to answer. Not sure if they've been answered already, but happy to answer any other questions.
Yeah, there were two questions in the chat, Michelle, one about the automation, another about SMS.
Let me check. All right. So, okay, so if you could spend a little time showing how the step 2 part of the automation was configured. Yeah, let me share my screen again. All right, so in the automation, right, so you've built your data extension, you have the fields built. And then within your automation, once the structure of the data extension is built with the fields that you're looking for, you'd go into an automation. We actually just create a new one for this example. You start your starting source, right? So this would be scheduled for that SQL query, right? So you'll pull in that activity, the SQL query activity. And if you haven't created that activity yet, you can create a new one from scratch. So I'll show you what that looks like here. So we can just name this, right? And then click next. Oh, I already did this. And then here's where you start building the query. So I will just duplicate and copy and paste and walk through how that was built. So since I already have this query here, but we'll pretend that we've built this from scratch, right? So you have that select statement where you're really selecting all the fields from your contact object. So this is a synchronized data extension with the Marketing Cloud connector, where you're able to pull in the fields that live on the contact object in your Salesforce CRM and pull them into Marketing Cloud. So right, we're pulling in the first name field from Marketing Cloud. And you'll see here, you'll have this as first name with the brackets. The reason being for this is because my data extension, the column, my first name column on my data extension is labeled first space name. So we have to have that matching to be able to pull in that value for those records. And similarly with last name, and then also contact ID and topic interest. So the left-hand side and email as well are the field names of the Salesforce contact object. And then on the right-hand side where you're seeing the as are the data extension column names. And then, like I mentioned, we're pulling in from the contact object in Salesforce, and this is the contact object name, the synchronized data extension name. And then this where clause is really a filter, right? So this is the ESG topic interest _ C is a Salesforce custom field. And we are saying it's not null because we want to just make sure that we're pulling in customers who have who we have this information on, right? So either if it's environmental, governance, sustainability, we want to make sure that they have some sort of topic filled out. So that's where this filter is basically filtering down our contacts that we're pulling in. And then you can also validate your syntax up here. It'll just make sure that the query syntax is valid. And then if you click next, this is where it'll show you where do you want to store this data. So again, as mentioned, you do have to have that data extension built beforehand. So you'll be able to find your data extension that was built, and then you can click and you just click it. Then you have your 3 data actions. So you can append, so that's really adding new data to your target data extension. Update, which is it'll update any matching data found based off the primary key. And if there's no record found, it's just going to add a new record for that. And then you have overwrite, which will always, every time the query is running, it'll replace all the data within your data extension and override it with the new data. So for this use case, we chose overwrite. And then click next. And then you get the summary. So that's really, you'll click finish, and that's where you'll see that query activity being pulled in. So then let me show you, let me save this so I can show you how that journey step 2 is automatically populated. Let me just configure this for today. We'll do 9 a.m. So now there's actually a nice feature, recent release within Marketing Cloud, where it gives you this really efficiency or performance check, really. So as it says here, right, it's a red line. So there's a lot of automations that run this on at this time. So really just improve system performance and your automation performance. It gives you that recommended time. I think it's a really cool feature, especially if you have a lot of automations running. It could be hard to manage those timings. And then we'll just keep it as no repeat for now. All right, so we'll click save. So if we go to the journey, you'll see here. We'll just stop this one. And then we'll go to that new version so I can show you what that looks like. And then we will edit this. So you'll see here, right, that data extension, you'll see 2 here, right? So you'll see that this data extension is associated with this automation. So this is the one that we use for the demo, but this ESG test is the one we just created, right? So you can select the automations that the data extension is associated with. Then you have this contact evaluation where you can only evaluate the new records that were populated into the data extension or all records. If you are overriding your data extension, you have to evaluate all your records, and they give you a good explanation of which evaluation method to choose. Then if you click done, this is where you see the scheduling, and you'll see that it's paused. Once you click activate, it'll validate your journey. And then once you click activate, it still won't run because it's based off of this automation that's paused. So if we look back at the automation here, where did I save it? ESG test. So see, again, you'll see that that was automatically populated once you activate the journey. So hopefully that answered your question. And then once you activate this, the journey will run based on this schedule. Let me see other SMS or. So which studio is better for sending mobile push notifications, Automation Studio or Journey Builder? I really do think that depends on the business use case and requirements. I would push for Journey Builder. You get a lot of more engagement, but also more flexibility with, your different customization with different paths and decision splits within that. So again, it does really depend on the requirements, but if you really want that custom path for each customer. Journey Builder gives you the ability to, right, to delegate based off of decisions, past email behavior, attributes. So hopefully that answered your question.
That was it. Amazing.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. Thanks, Tim, for hosting.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you all. Bye-bye.